My name is G. Anthony Phillips. I am the president of the Labor Council, and it is my honor to welcome you here tonight. One of the things that makes this night so special for us are those folks that give not of just their time, but their money to keep us going. And I want to make a special announcement in appreciation for those that have done such a thing as donated as they have today, especially our SEIU, UHW, and all of our sponsors are in there, but let's give a big round. They did this really big. And if you look on the other side of your program, our Teamsters Local, they gave us a really big amount. We don't even have a name for what they did. And I'm not going to go through them all, but I'm going to stop on the other page, which is the captain's group. And there are 4 names in there. And on the bottom of this name is Wheeler Sonoma. They're the printers of our program tonight. And along with the rest of them, let's give them all a round of applause. And now, without further ado, I think we move on to why we are all here tonight, to recognize those friends and legislators that support labor, support working families, and we are all led by our executive director, the guy that only works part-time. That's what it says on the little stipend check we give him for part-time work. My brother, John Riley.
All right, welcome siblings. 9th annual Spring Salute Awards reception. Who would have thunk it 8 years ago that here we are, every year it gets bigger, every year it gets better. You know, as our president would say, the greatest event in the history of the cosmos, right? And so here we are all coming together. Huh? That other guy. Threw me off. Anyway, so this event is not about recognizing elected officials. It's not about recognizing our sponsors as much, although we really do appreciate the sponsors, and we really wouldn't be able to do this without them. And we wouldn't be able to keep our doors open without our sponsors. This is about honoring elected officials, our members, community leaders that go above and beyond the call of duty to represent our members. And we couldn't do this event without the people that come together. The food this evening was barbecued by Firefighters 1186, my home union. The sides were provided by catering by Ray Martin. Thank you very much, Ray. Teamsters Local 315 organized the bar. Give them the biggest round of applause. Helping to serve tonight is the Publio Foundation. Patty Publio, Cicero, and their gang. And for those of you that don't know about that foundation, they take tragedy and turn it into opportunity. And the tip jars and all the tips that we receive tonight are going to go to the Publio Foundation. Thank you very much, Patty. Thank you for everybody that donated the wine, because we all like that. So, without further ado, one of our guest presenters is basically somebody that needs no introduction. I've been working with this gentleman for my whole 30-something years that I've been a labor leader. He's our congressman. He fights tirelessly on behalf of working men and women. His door is always open. And I'd like to introduce our congressman, Mike Thompson.
John, thank you very, very much, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you. Staff, I only have a minute. I only have 1 minute. That's the mic rule tonight. So thank you for being here. Labor is such an important part, not only of our congressional district and our region, but of everything in the United States of America and everything we stand for. Always remember, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, you're doing it on the shoulders of somebody great who came before you. And nowhere is that more clear than with the brothers and sisters of organized labor. Remember, the 40-hour work week, the end of child labor, safety in the workplace, minimum wage. It was labor that made all of that happen. So always remember that and always continue to improve on it. And there's no time that's more important for improvement than right now. When we've got 5 million people who want a job who can't get a job, another 5 million people who want to work full-time but they can only work part-time, we still have work to do. When 3 people in the United States of America own more wealth than the bottom half of everybody in America, we've got a divide that we need to close. We've got work to do. The last time that we came together for this celebration, I told you that we had a big job ahead of us, that we needed to flip the House of Representatives. And if we didn't, we were going to be in big trouble. And you know what? Labor was there. Labor worked hard. We flipped the House. Our work's not over. We've got to keep the majority. We've got the Senate to win. And we've got a real rascal that we need to get out of the White House. So 2020 is even more important. Thank you all very much.
All right. And Mike's been here for every spring salute to help us honor our award winners and make them feel special. Our second presenter, another person that really needs no introduction, especially for those in this room, our state senator, Bill Dodd from Napa. Bill is another individual that works very hard on behalf of our members. He is a mover and shaker up in the Capitol, and he always has an open door policy for labor. And look at that. Teamwork. That's pretty awesome. You took the stairs last year. That's good. You must have walked precincts last time.
How's everybody doing? Well, since Mike took a minute and a half, I only have 30 seconds. Just teasing. No, but what Mike's talking about is incredibly important. We saw what the blue wave did in this last election for Congress. We saw what happened in the California State Senate. We have over a 2/3 majority. In the Assembly, we have more than a 2/3 majority. And we're going to work every single day on things that this president is turning around. Great labor standards, environmental standards. He's turning his back on all the things that we have really worked hard in this country to do. And let me tell you, we're straightening that out in California and putting those standards into play every single day. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for your support, for your time working in these elections, working, raising the standards for labor. I really appreciate all your efforts. Thank you very much.
Our Cecilia Aguilar Curry has been here every year since she's been elected. She was here earlier, but her family came into town, so she had to leave. But when you get in a moment to thank Cecilia for all the work that she's doing, we didn't endorse Cecilia Aguilar Curry when she first ran. But I have to tell you, she's been one of the most tireless leaders. She is the person that calls us and asks us if there's anything going on, and we really appreciate the work that she does up in the Capitol. So we thank her. Our next presenter, another guy that really needs no introduction around here. All of our Mike and Bill, and our next presenter, Tim Grayson. I'll talk about him as he comes up here. Oh, there you are. But he comes from Contra Costa County, across the bridge. We didn't really know about Tim at first, but I'll tell you what, this is another guy that is really, we know that he's got our workers' families in heart when he makes his decision. Come on up here, Tim.
It's okay. Contra Costa can be in the house. I thank you very much, and it's such an honor to be with each and every one of you here. Of course, tonight is about the awardees, those that are being recognized for the great achievements that they've been able to accomplish. But I will tell you, I'm where I'm at today. I was raised in a household and had values put into me, and I give the credit to a mother and a father that were totally dedicated to labor, because they are labor, because I was raised in a home, a labor home. And my dad, 55 years into Teamsters. Go, yeah. And I give much credit to it. And I will tell you, each and every one of you in this room tonight are labor heroes. So congratulate one another. God bless.
I'd like to do a little something here before we start. Would anybody that's received one of our awards at our spring salute please stand up and be recognized? Because these folks are continuing to do the work on behalf of our members, our community. Our hats are off to you, and thank you very much for coming back year after year. Our Labor Partnership Award for Solano County. This award goes to the elected officials that went above and beyond when it comes to fighting for working people in Napa and Solano counties. And our first recipient, well, I really don't need to introduce him because he just introduced himself to you. Assemblymember Tim Grayson, we would love to thank you for the work that you do on behalf of working men and women. Our second award winner could not make it this evening. That's the one thing about these awards. The only award winner that we announce ahead of time is our Lifetime Achievement Award, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. Everybody else, we try to keep it in the dark. And getting some of these people to this event is very difficult because everybody that we honor is a very busy person. They're always out there working on behalf of members. And Lori Wilson, new mayor of Sassoon, couldn't make it tonight, but she wanted me to tell everybody thank you very much for the honor. Our next Labor Partnership Award in Solano County, again, goes to somebody that we do not need to introduce or have walk up here because he also is standing on the stage. Senator Bill Dodd, thank you so much for all the work that you do on behalf of our members. We really appreciate it. This young lady came on the scene a few years ago, very active in Napa city politics and community, was appointed to the city council, ran, very narrowly defeated, continued to do the hard work that it takes to work on behalf of the community, and we'd like to honor Mary Louros. And thanks to all you Napa folks that got her down here. Siblings. We call our peeps siblings. It all started because when you say brothers and sisters and start typing it out, it gets kind of long. So we started calling them siblings. And now for those of you that are, grizzled veterans, sibs are what we call ourselves. And so this award goes to those siblings we felt did the most to team with labor and support us on issues important to working men and women. Again, our first award was going to Gilly Miller, Solano County Office of Ed, who has done a tremendous amount of work on behalf of the education system in Solano County and is working with Danny Bernardini with the building trades, my partner over here in crime from the building trades, to try to get trades programs back in the schools. So when you see Gilly, thank her very much. We just recently had an election in Vallejo that was one of our most important. We had a school board that we felt was very dysfunctional. We want, any arguments? We wanted, and we knew we needed to change that board. Our school system is suffering. We had very much controversy. We just hired a new superintendent, Dr. Adam Clark, who's in the back. Thank you very much for coming, sir. But we needed to get a facilities maintenance bond passed. And we put together a team that we called affectionately Team Yes. And we had folks from all sides of the political spectrum in Vallejo that worked on this bond. Unfortunately, when they voted to put it on the ballot, We were going to put it on at 55%. 2 board members voted against that. We went back to our committee and said, we can wait 2 years, or we can come together, roll up our sleeves, do the work we do, and get this thing passed. We passed this bond at 69%. And our next award winner was instrumental, Mitch Romeo from the Vallejo School District. Please come up and accept your award. Thank you very much, Mitch, for all your hard work. We really appreciate it. These awards were voted on by our members. We opened it up for nominations. They made the nominations, and then we voted on it. When we do our elected work and go out and campaign, we're successful because of the coalition work that we do. We reach out to the community. We get community leaders, labor, business representatives, and we come together and work tirelessly to go out and try to get people elected. And we have a little coalition called Napa Working Families Coalition in Napa that's came together a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And our next award winner is Sharon Macklin from Napa Working Families Coalition and the Progressive Women. We meet every month in the city of Napa, come together, talk about issues such as housing, the Civic Center project. How do we provide opportunities for workers so that they can live and work in the same location? And Sharon, thank you very much for your tireless efforts on behalf of our members. Our next award winner, I affectionately call Ying, because she's the yin to my yang, working for Tim Grayson, Jana Modena. And when I talked a little bit earlier, Mike and Bill and Tim all have their offices on Virginia Street so that the community can come in and visit with them. And whenever there's something going on, they have a place they can go in Vallejo and get recognized. Jana. Our Labor Community Partner Award. This award goes to the business leaders who best exemplify what a winning relationship between labor and management can produce for the workforce and community. Every year, we have an event. We have 2 big fundraisers, the Spring Salute and Labor Day. And trying to put our program together and get all the sponsors notified and recognized. We have 1 union printer in our area, Wheeler, Sonoma, and everybody knows Mark Botter. But the guy that sits behind the scenes and does all the work and has to put up with me for about an hour, 2 days before the event to make sure that our program is ready, Don Dungan. Get up here, buddy. And Don's son-in-law just got hired on a fire department, so he's part of the Brotherhood. And thank you very much, Don, for everything that we do. And I'm sure our union affiliates appreciate the fact that we have a union printer close. Thank you, brother. Our next award winner really needs no introduction in Vallejo. Buck Camphausen, will you come up here, sir? Buck came into Vallejo 20, 30 years ago. If you are a nonprofit, if you are involved in anything in Vallejo, Buck Camphausen is always one of the first persons that stands up and helps out. And he has so many businesses that he's involved with, but the biggest one is the mortuary business. And Buck, hopefully I'm not going to be coming to you for quite some time. Thank you for everything.
There's a lot of people like that.
Our Labor Champion Award. These awards go to those siblings that do the hard work every election cycle. They're leaders of their affiliates. They have the responsibility of representing their members. Our first award from the Benicia teachers, Caroline Fields. Caroline, get up here. I worked with Caroline. Caroline grew up right down the street. Her father was a firefighter with my father. I had an opportunity to work with him, and she's carrying on the legacy of doing hard work for working men and women. And thank you for everything that you've done, Caroline. I'm sure that your members appreciate it as well. That's what we want. Our next award winner. This young man got thrown into the mix a couple years ago to run a political campaign. He was the person last year that was running around with his head cut off, trying to set this thing up. Young Daniel Espinoza. Where are you, Danny? I've been waiting for a moment to get you up here, bro. Come on, young man, you should be able to move quicker than that. Double time. Great work, Danny. We talk about the Measure S campaign, right? People don't realize how important that was. And when we said that we got folks together from all the sides of the political spectrum, Deborah Sears, can you make your way up here? Deborah is a chair of their academy system. She works tirelessly on behalf of the students in the city of Vallejo, and she was one of the driving forces to make sure that we were able to pass a bond in the city of Vallejo so that we could finally start to begin to upgrade our facilities and give our students a safe, dry, warm place to matriculate. Deborah, it's been such a pleasure working with you, and we're still working together right now. Last Labor Champion Award. This young man works for the ironworkers. He's been around in politics, Young Democrats, Democratic Party. Glen Love, make your way up here, brother. And if you don't know Glenn, you're going to know him next election because he's an integral part of not only the Central Labor Council's political program, but the Ironworkers political program. Great work, young man. Labor Backbone Award. And these awards go to those siblings who work every day to promote our values of fighting for all workers. And they really are the backbone of our Labor Council, any movement that they're involved in. Our first award winner was Todd Matthews, Firefighters Local 1186 president in Benicia. And Todd is stuck at the firehouse. He couldn't make it, but wanted to make sure that I said hello to everybody. And so when we see Todd next, make sure that you thank him for his work. Our next award winner, his name may sound familiar, Jesse Espinoza from OE3. Would you make your way up here? And Danny Espinoza, his son, get up here so you can get your picture taken with the old man. Jesse started working for OE3 several years ago, dove right in, became an integral part of our Labor Council, the Operating Engineers Field Program, and politics in Solano and Napa counties. Jesse, we appreciate all the work you're doing on behalf of all of us, bro. Our next award winner works for SCIU 10-1 in the workforce development offices up in Solano County. Sonya Jackson, she was unable to make it this evening, but we're going to go ahead and extend a heartfelt round of applause for her. Next young man, new to Napa County, came on the scene. He works for IBEW, Local 180. Dave Iloff, make your way up here, young man. IBEW 180, business manager Kevin Coleman. They host any and every meeting that we have, all our coalition meetings, anything that we have in Napa that we need a space, Democratic Party, other coalitions, and they open up their hall. And Dave, you've done you've worked so hard on behalf of your members, and you're a good part of our team as well, young man. Thank you so much. Our next award winner, Glen Brannamon from CTA. He's a teacher in Vacaville. And he couldn't make it this evening. But Glen's going to retire pretty soon, and we're hoping that when he does, and I know Danny's hoping, that we're going to be able to lasso him to be one of our CTE instructors to teach trades to the young men and women that are coming up behind him. So we'll thank Glenn for his efforts. The Becky Benton Memorial Courage Award. This award goes to the sibling who, like our friend Becky Benton, she was an SEIU 10-to-1 member, show remarkable courage by turning adversity into achievement. Becky was a member of SEIU 10-to-1. She had issues with how the county was running. She wanted to make changes, so she decided to run for the Board of Supervisors. Had never ran for an elected office before in her life. She learned a lot. We talked every day. After the election, she went back to her union, joined her board, got on their political team, and was gearing up for another run, political office, when she was stricken with brain cancer and passed away. One of the biggest honors in my life was to present the first Becky Benton Award to her while she was in the hospital with her family and leadership from SEIU, and we miss her tremendously. The winner of our award this year is another individual that, faced with adversity, could have done what a lot of folks do and spiral into depression, turn into that dark place. Life never the same. But instead, this young lady did something so remarkable. I'll never be able to figure out how she gets up every morning and does this. Her son was killed in a tragic incident. And Patty Pobletti, would you please come up here, young lady? Patty is with the Pobletti Foundation. They do gun buybacks. They turn those implements of misery into art. And they raise awareness. And she also advocates for trades in the schools because she feels that if her son or those that murdered him had an opportunity when they were in high school to know that they could have been in a trade, that maybe this wouldn't happen. And Patty, it's such an honor to work with you every day. I call her, she answers the phone, I don't know why. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. You're a remarkable person in this community, and we love you. Lew France, Lifetime Achievement Award. You all came, you knew who we were honoring. Ben Espinoza. Come on up here, Benny, while we shower you with praise, baby. We got a little video that Mark Lampkin put together for us from Vallejo is back. Mark, thank you for all the work that you're doing.
In 1971, I came to Northern California, and I worked for an uncle, Joe Mestis Construction. And he subsequently had a partner, Gilbert Santa-Steven. So I started working with these guys, and as things produced and things changed, as it always does, the owner of the company came to me and he says, I have no more work for you. I have to work my family, but I have a guy that's interested in putting you to work. So he introduced me to the gentleman. Unknowns to me, he was a union contractor. So I started with him, and I worked 21 years, not consecutively, but 21 years with the same contractor. Was a foreman most of the time. What they call a mechanic. And during those years, I was fortunate enough to get involved with politics and everything else within the industry. One of my biggest things for me was I was always a foreman. I did what I could for everybody, and I had one of these qualities that I did not really realize that I had, but it was to lead. In 1998, I was called on and asked if I wanted to interview for the job for business agent here in Vallejo, California for Cement Masons Local 400. And so I did the interview, and I had a little bit of angst about it and wasn't sure what I was going to do. But as the stars lined up, you know what? I took the offer. Because of the support I got from the carpenters next door, Carpenters Local 180, and the support I got through the building trades as well, They both supported me and helped me understand prevailing wage and what my duties were on a day-to-day basis. In 2010, I was asked to be senior agent for the current business manager for Cement Masons Local 400, our main office out of Sacramento. I was also asked to be a trustee on the board of trustees for the Northern California Cement Masons Trust Funds. The most important part about that was you really get to represent people because the decisions you make affect their health care, their pension, and their overall quality of life. So the one statement that still holds true today, and when I took this job, I was told, don't take the job for the money, take it for the members. You represent the working people just like you were out there. So the next generation will have a battle as well that will never cease. Since the beginning of time, labor was there before commerce. Commerce cannot exist and thrive without labor. Since the beginning of times with Romans and slavery. I hope that in their generation that work will continue. They will be smart enough to how to change with the rules that change the rules that we work with and how to organize those that are unorganized into the Cement Masons Local 400. My lovely wife, Kathy, is my rock and the wind underneath my wings. My children and my grandchildren are the fruits of my labor and the reason why I lead. Without their support, I would not be able to stand up for what I believe in and to keep my family, but myself, in a forward positive example. My mother once told me, be thankful for all the faculties that you have. There are people with mobility, communications, and health problems, and they wish that they could do what we can. God bless them. And because of that, I've been able to lead, move, get involved, and never sit down. Today and every day, I will live that for community involvement the rest of my days. Thank you.
I was introduced to Ben by Carlos Borba. We started United Workers for Local Government back in 2001. We used to joke he was going to jail because he was the secretary treasurer, but I would visit him often and bring him treats. In 2005, Ben was also instrumental when we reorganized our labor council in 2005. And here we are today, decade later, honoring Ben, who has always been one of my mentors. He is a person that you know is going to give you the right advice, whether you like it or not. And you know that when he's talking to you and giving you that advice, just like you saw in the videotape, he's doing it because he cares about the workers that he represented. We're going to have a great big void in the labor movement when Ben leaves, and hopefully Kathy will let him come back and play a little bit during the elections, because I know he kind of likes it. But Ben, thank you very much on behalf of our Labor Council. I know that Danny and the building trades also appreciate everything you do. Danny, when's his dinner coming?
We are also having a nice little get-together in Vacaville on May 11th. We've got the flyers out there. Get a hold of me if you'd like to attend, and thanks for all the folks that helped sponsor and make that possible.
So Ben, the mic is yours, and you can speak for as long as you want, brother.
All right, it's on. You know, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to pull it together. This is an amazing crowd, and what I have to tell you about John Riley. We met, we were having breakfast at the restaurant. Oh, he burnt it down. No, he didn't. Anyway, we were having breakfast and just chatting with each other. So Lew and myself, a couple of guys from the building trades, were at one table, and John and his firefighters were at another table. Well, that was way in the early years, and I always used to ask Lew, help me understand this. This is all labor. We all fight for the common cause of our members. Why don't we partner with these guys? Well, it's been a long partnership. We don't always agree, but we always clean it up and talk. You guys are the epitome of life. Taking out from your Friday night to come here and listen to the awards that are given out, to our elected officials, to our business community partners and leaders. We can't do this alone. I've always said, it's only us here on the bottom that make it work. Everybody above, they don't live here. They're not a part of the community. They're not a part of the fabric of this community as we know in Northern California. It's a little difficult for me to maintain my composure, but I can tell you, I am immensely humbled by this award. Thank you.
Look, here we are. Year number 9. We hope that there's a year number 10. I'm sure there will be, and we can't wait to pick the lucky victims for next year's award. Ben, once again, thank you so much for everything you do. Let's give Bill Dodd, Mike Thompson, and Tim Grayson a hand. Thank you very much. They actually stayed here over. They all had places to be after this, and they stayed over. So we started doing this a couple years ago, and we want to make sure that would anybody that's in this room that has served in the armed forces for your country please stand up, and would everybody give them the round of applause that they deserve. My son Connor just recently returned from a deployment in Syria, and I know how hard it is for those loved ones at home that are waiting for those folks to come back from being in harm's way. We thank everybody that came. You're why we do what we do. We thank all of our elected officials that showed up to show that you care for the working men and women that toil every day. And all they're asking for is to be treated with dignity and respect, to be able to retire with dignity and respect, and we're going to fight our asses off to make sure that everybody in this room, your children and grandchildren, are afforded the same opportunities that we have been afforded. So we thank you very much. What? If anybody can get a box. Oh, if you got an award, your boxes are over here. You can pick them up. So this is labor. So like every event in labor, you drink the wine, you drink the beer, you eat the food, but we're going to ask you to help us police this joint up and get it back to normal. So those of you that can stay back and help us out, we appreciate it. For those that can't, we really appreciate it. Those that can't, please have a safe journey home. And just like a PLA, on time, under budget. And thank you very much for coming and helping us celebrate.